Hi, friends. Okay, so I just got back from the cardiologist and I wanted to give you guys an update because you may have friends or family who had COVID, even asymptomatic, and are now having these issues, and this will tell you what to do, okay? So we have a family history now since my dad had his heart attack 2 years ago. And so when I had COVID in September, ever since COVID, I have had a lot of trouble breathing. Like I can't walk up the steps without feeling like I am having, like I'm struggling. Like 10 steps, guys. Like this is sad. I'm 42 years old, right? And so, and I can be sitting on the couch and all of a sudden my heart will just start racing. Or I will be sitting and my normal heart rate is like 60. And when I stand up, all of a sudden it skyrockets to like 120, 130, usually 110 to 120. And so I called in January to make an appointment with a cardiologist at Barnes. Now they have a group of, I want to say 6 or 7 cardiologists, but it took me forever to get in to see this woman because she is specifically working with people who are having issues post-COVID with their heart. When I had what I thought was a heart attack a couple weeks ago and I went into St. Luke's, they were like, oh, we're really seeing most people post-COVID are having lung issues. They're not having heart issues. Okay. That's not true because when I just went to the cardiologist, she says this is what she sees all the time, okay? So she has about 125 patients that we all have the exact same symptoms, and it's not registering on regular testing. Now, super duper important is that if you have had COVID, even if you were completely asymptomatic, you can still have these heart issues, okay? So for me, it's the palpitations, it's the racing heart, it's the me walking up the steps and wanting to feel like I'm gonna pass out. The other thing that's been happening a lot lately is I can sleep 8 to 10 hours a night and in the afternoon still feel like I need to take 1 or 2 naps. So this is what she said. Okay. One, she said this is a consistent pattern that they are seeing in people post-COVID, regardless of whether or not they had symptoms with COVID or not. Two, they basically, when they're wearing heart monitors, which I'm going to be doing as soon as it comes in the mail, I think it's supposed to be this week. I have to wear a heart monitor for 3 days and they can check and see what my fluctuations are. And then I'm getting a stress test, so nuclear stress test next week to check my heart. So basically what they said is if you are having any of these symptoms, your heart is working overtime. So when I said to her, I was literally so tired. Like in February, I was saying to Eric, there are days when I don't want to get up. Like I want to just go to sleep and sleep forever because I am so exhausted and I want to cry. I'm so tired. My body, I'm almost wanting to vomit. I'm so tired. It's the weirdest feeling. So what she said is all of these people that she's seeing, the heart fluctuations after COVID, where it's consistently going and sitting at a higher rate. So my normal rate's 60. Today when they checked my normal rate, my resting heart rate, it was like 85 or 90. And then if you're fluctuating up every time you stand up or you exert yourself in any way, basically, your heart is running a marathon every single day. She said your body is running a marathon. So it's no wonder you're tired. It's every day. This is what your body's going through. So if you have family and friends that are dealing with this and they're being told that it's lung issues, it may not be lung. It may be heart. So this is through Barnes. It was over by Children's. It's the Cardiac Center. It's the Center for Advanced Medicine. And her name is Dr. Verma, Verma. I really liked her. She seems to know her stuff. She flat out told me this is going to be a lot of kind of practice what's going to work because they don't know. Everything is so new. But so far, meds, they've been giving people meds that have helped regulate their heart rate more and keep it down so you're not running that marathon every single day. She did say she had a woman who she's been seeing since March who came back with myocarditis. So what that is COVID can cause inflammation of the heart. So they do all of these different tests, and that's what the stress test and all of that is to check for actual inflammation of the heart. But this is super interesting too. So she said to me that COVID is affecting things on a cellular level. And so if it's causing damage at the cellular level, there are things that are it's at such a low, like a cellular level in your body that it won't show up on blood tests. So like if they did a whole bunch of blood work on me today and they're testing for all these inflammatory markers. But she said, if those all come back normal, that doesn't mean that you don't have this. Mainly because it could be at such a cellular level that she said it could potentially not show up in blood work for years. And so she said, now that I'm in with them and I've seen her, this is going to be something that they're going to track now for years. So I have an appointment to go back and see her in 2 weeks. I have the nuclear stress test, scheduled for April 2nd. So basically they put a dye in and then you have to run on the treadmill and then they take pictures of your heart. And then they have, I have to wear the heart monitor so they can see the fluctuations. And then from there, they said if all that comes back normal, then they do a cardiac MRI. And that can show inflammation in the heart as well. So I really just wanted to let you guys know, like I feel like my kids think that I'm just being a giant turd and I don't want to get off the couch and I'm just being lazy. I'm really not. Like I am so tired. I always joke with people, like ever since I had COVID, I have these COVID circles under my eyes, like they won't go away. And part of it's just because you're so exhausted. You're just so tired. And I said to her, I feel like I'm 100 years old and I'm 42. And what she said is she keeps consistently seeing people every day who come in and say to her, I am sitting on the couch or laying in bed and I'm so thirsty. And I can see the glass of water and it's 2 feet away from me. And I'm so exhausted, I don't want to get the water. And that's how I feel. So it was so nice to actually get some validation. The other thing that she said, which I thought was interesting, was I have anxiety, I've had depression, and I've had a panic attack before. But when this stuff is happening with my heart, it starts with they're really concerned about me because of the chest pain that I have now. I've had the shortness of breath for 6 months now since COVID. I'm still positive for COVID antibodies. So she said my body is just still kind of fighting off the COVID stuff. So I do have to have take a baby aspirin now for a long time. But oh crap, I forgot what I was going to say with that. See, that's COVID brain too. It just goes away. So with anxiety. So what she said is, when your heart starts racing and it starts having those palpitations, it creates your body to have that panic feel because you feel like you can't breathe, and then that can exacerbate everything and make everything worse. But she said in no way is this, I was very concerned because a lot of the things that I read about post-COVID stuff and going to see doctors is that they don't believe you and they think it's all anxiety and depression and stuff. And she was like, no, she's like 100%. I believe you. I see this consistently. This is what we're seeing all the time. And the other thing that she said, which if you guys don't know this, I did not know that this existed. At Barnes, they have a COVID care center. So if you have had COVID, you've been diagnosed with COVID, and now you're dealing with any post-COVID symptoms, you can go in there and they will deal with all the other things. So she said, because am being treated now for heart post COVID, that automatically gets me into this care center. And the care center, they said, is really good because of COVID depression and all the other things that they're seeing with COVID. And guys, I will tell you, like, COVID depression is no joke. If you guys are not, if you've had COVID and your brain, you feel like you're not thinking right and you are really depressed, like, it's for real. Like, I'm very upbeat, and the only time I've really had depression is like post baby. And in January, February, I was in a really, really dark place. Like, I kept saying to Eric, like, the kids wouldn't care if I was here. Like, they say I don't do anything with them because of all this post-COVID stuff. There's no energy to do anything, right? Eric wants to go out for date night and I'm so tired. Like, why am I here? Why am I, this, it sucks, why I don't want to get out of bed. Like, you're depressed, you're tired, you're crying for no reason, all the different things. Just the so tired is the worst. And so, I was saying stuff to Eric and he's like, do we need to, like, get you help? Like, do you need to go see somebody? Because I'm worried. And I was like, babe, I don't know. I'm worried about me. And to hear her, this doctor, say to me, she was like, COVID depression is horrible and people are having really bad bouts with it. And this COVID care center can help with that. She was like, they're helping with everything. She's like, the mental stuff, people forgetting things, the brain fog, I have the constant ringing of the ears, which, if you guys don't know this, apparently the owner of Texas Roadhouse just killed himself. And they said he was having the horrible ringing of the ears. Like, I can see how that makes you just go nuts because it's all you can hear. And so just know, like, if you have family members and stuff, it's real, and help them and believe them and get them into somewhere that will believe them. And this place is really good. So Lindsay, I will not get the vaccine. We just are choosing not to. We still have antibodies, and I'm the one who gets the 1 to 5% of side effects of medications, vaccines, all that kind of stuff. And I won't do anything with the vaccine until I know long-term effects, because I would be the one that gets the 1 to 5%. So I am not. But yeah, guys, so I just wanted to pop on and let you guys know, like, if you have family and friends, please send them here. It was at Barnes. So at Main Barnes by Children's Place, and her name is Dr. Verma, Verma. She is specifically studying COVID heart issues in women or in people that have had COVID. So, and it's exploding. Her practice is just exploding. It took 2 months for me to get seen. And then I wound up in the hospital 2 weeks ago thinking I was having a heart attack. So don't wait. If you have family or friends, get them in. If they're having any of the shortness of breath, the palpitations, all of that. Oh, the other thing she said, do not work out. She said, if you're having any of these symptoms, don't work out until you get checked, because if you are making your heart work even harder, if your heart is working hard already and then you're working out and making it work harder, she said it can actually cause damage to the heart. So Eric, because when I walk up the steps, I can't breathe. It takes me a while to recover. Like, I went to the chiropractor 2 weeks ago. It was actually the day that I went into the hospital, because it was a few days after I thought I had the first heart attack. And so I went into the hospital, into the ER, thinking I was having a heart attack. And Eric, that day I'd gone to the chiropractor and I walked up 15 steps to get to the first level, and then I had to get on the elevator to go to the third floor. I forgot he was on the third floor. I thought he was on the second. So I got off on the second, walked up 10 more steps, and it took me a half hour to recover where I thought that I could breathe. So that's what she said, is she said, don't push yourself, because Eric keeps telling me, you got to build it up, babe. You got to build it up, babe. Like, I've got all these friends who are marathon runners and long distance bike riders and all this stuff, and they had COVID and they're at like 70%, but they've been working out the whole time. You have to work out again. Like, if it sucks to go up the steps one time, go up the steps 3 times, build it up again. And this doctor said, no. She said, don't do any weightlifting. Don't do anything where your heart is going up. She said, you can walk. Basically, you can walk and that's it until we get these tests back. So if you have family and friends, don't push them to do more, because it'll actually make it worse on their body if they have what I have, which she said is basically your body's running a marathon every day. So hopefully that helps. Share this with people who need it. If you guys have any friends or family who need the information, please spread it. I know there's not a lot of information out there for post long haul COVID stuff. And a lot of the things that I was reading kept talking about lungs and not about heart. But I knew what I was having was heart pain, chest pain, palpitations, higher resting heart rate, and feeling like I can't breathe when I go up a flight of stairs. So if you guys are having anybody who's dealing with that, share this with them so they can get in and get on the waiting list to see this doctor. Because as far as I know, she's the only one in St. Louis that's doing it. And she seems to know her stuff. So hopefully that's helpful. Bye, guys.